Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the arrival of the President of the Republic in Qatar, the rehabilitation of Taspio Basic School and Health Center, for the international scene, Lionel Messi crowned for the seventh time to Golden Ballon. Welcome to our newsroom. The Head of State, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has arrived this morning in Doha, the capital of the state of Qatar, where at the invitation of the Emir of this country, Sheikh Tamim bin Ahmed Al Thani, he will pay a 48 hours working visit during his stay in Doha. The President of the Republic will take part, like several other head of state and government of Arab countries, in the launching ceremony of the new Pan-Arab football tournament to be held in that country. But President Guelleh's visit to Qatar will be marked by the summit talks he will have with the Emir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. During this meeting, the two countries will discuss the good relations between them and the ways and means to promote and develop them further. Discussions will also be extended to the identification of new areas of strategic cooperation for the two sister nations with the long-standing privileged ties. The audience between the two leaders will also serve as a framework for discussing other regional, continental, and international issues of common interest to the two countries and peoples. The head of state will also take the opportunity of this trip to Qatar to meet with several of his Arab counterparts who are present in Doha. As during his visit to Qatar, the President of the Republic is accompanied by a large delegation, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the State of Qatar, His Excellency Dayib Tubad Roble.
hagaagiyo dhismaha heerka sare gaadhay caddeed inay saboolnimo hadhaa loo xaloosiyaye habartoobireedow hogaan haybad la tahaye himilooyinkaagii inaan kuma hungaysiin waddankeena hana qaaday iyo horumarkaan gaadhnay dhaqaalaha hagaagiyo dhismaha heerka sare gaadhay caddeed inay saboolnimo hadhaa.
We are now moving to Qatar, where the 2021 FIFA Arab Cup will be held, a competition co-organized by the Federation International of the Football Associations and the Qatar Football Federation, bringing together all the Arab men's teams. It takes place from 13 November 2021 to 18 December 2021. It follows on from the Arab Cup of Nations, of which Morocco is the current winner, with the 2022 World Cup just 1 year away. It will serve as a full-scale tests and dress rehearsals for the host country. The first match will take place on Tuesday, November 13 at 11 a.m. at the Stade Ahmed bin Ali. It will be Tunisia against Mauritania. The final will take place on Saturday, 18 December at the Al Bayt Stadium. A total of 16 countries from the Arab world are participating in this competition. They are divided into 4 groups: Qatar, Iraq, Somalia, and Oman. In the first group, Tunisia, United Arab Emirates, Syria, and Mauritania. In the second, and Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Palestine make up the third group. Finally, Algeria will face Egypt, Lebanon, and Sudan in the Group D. At the end of the 3 matches, the top of 2 from each group qualify for the quarterfinals. The Prime Minister and acting head of government, Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, received in the early afternoon the new ambassador of Cuba in Djibouti, Mr. Marcelo Caballero. The Cuban diplomat thanked the Prime Minister for his welcome and availability. He also highlighted and informed the Prime Ministers on the various programs underway between Djibouti and Havana, and the ways and means to develop them further. For his part, the Prime Minister and head of government and acting head of government, Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, welcomed the new diplomat to Djibouti and gave him all his full support to carry out his work during his stay. A strong ministerial delegation led by the Minister of Agriculture, Water, Fishery and Livestock in charge of Aliotic Resources, Mohammed Ahmed Awali, and composed of the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdillah, and the Director General of the Pedagogy, Abdi Dirir Giri, and the representative of the Minister of National Education, Vocational Training, accompanied by their main collaborators and from their respective government departments, visited the rural localities of Daspio yesterday morning. On their arrival, the members of the government were welcomed by the prefect of the region, Musa Adan Migane, the vice president of the regional council, Nuh Said Geldon, the member of parliament, the Abdi Khairi Bouh and Abdo Sikiye Diriye, Ilmi Mahabe Wa'ais, and the chief of the various security forces based in the region is local elected officials, numerous senior officials from the region, traditional chief, eminent ulama, young people from associations, active women from civil society, and the inhabitants of the thousands-years-old villages of Daspio. The delegation's visit began with the inauguration of a brand new intermediate health center equipped with an efficient and complete technical platforms for basic health care. The transformation of the health center into the Daspio immediate health center has enabled the expansions of activity package by providing new services in mother and child health, such as the nutritional programs, as an emergency room, radiology, a fuel-equipped laboratory, and a priority disease program. As for the representative of MENFOP, Abdi Dirir Giri, he thanked on behalf of his ministerial department all those who have worked closely on or remotely for the realizations of school infrastructure in the framework of the Dry Land Project. This project has allowed the construction of 4 equipped classrooms, a multimedia room with 16 computers, and 2 brand new housing units for the public teacher professionals. These buildings made it possible to transform the integrated basic school in Daspio into the basic school with all levels of basic and intermediate education. For his part, the Minister of Public Health welcomed the complete rehabilitation of the local health centers and its extension by a blood analysis laboratory and an X-ray room and an inpatient rooms for emergency cases and a well-equipped delivery room. The head of the health department urged the people of Daspio to ensure the preservation of their health centers and its modern facilities, and for medical professionals to work with professionalism and conscience for the benefit of their suffering compatriots. Lastly, the Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Ahmed Awali, acknowledged that these moments of inauguration of the new school and health infrastructure mark the history of Daspio village. This is a real pride for us, he said, an important act that shows the vitality of government. He said the Dry Land Project is an initiative of the Djibouti government and the Islamic Development Bank following the chronic drought that hit the countries of the Horn of Africa in 2008. The visit of this strong multi-sectoral delegation to Daspio ended with the guided tours of the different farms that have benefited from the Dry Land Project. This multi-sectoral project contribute to the fight against poverty and rural exodus in the faces of recurrent drought, while consolidating government action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Dry Land is a pilot project developed within the framework of the implementation of the United Nations Millennium Villages Program, and which focuses on capacity building in rural areas with a view to improving food security and access by local communities to basic needs such as water, education, health, electrical energy, and women's empowerment. Its impact is reflected in support for agro-livestock production systems, support for education with the aim of ensuring schooling for all, support for health, energy, and finally through community development. The Minister of Women and Family, Muna Osman Aden, President of the 14th sessions of the Arab League Women's Committee, took part in the special sessions under the theme Men and Women Together, It is Time to Act on Monday, 29 November 2021 via video conference. This meeting, which is part of the 60 days campaign to combat violence against women, is organized at the regional level by the Arab League in collaboration with the United Nations Women Regional Offices for the Arab region, the Regional Office of the United Nations Population Fund, UNHCR, and the General Union of the Women of the United Arab Emirates, chaired by the Under Secretary General of the Head of the Department of the Social Affairs, Her Excellency Ambassador Haifa Abu Ghazalale. The meeting was attended by the Regional Director of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Mr. Ayman Al-Karabiya, the Regional Director of the UN Office for the Arab World, Dr. Zuzan Mikhael, the Deputy Regional Directors of the UNFPA, Karina Narcisian, the Secretary General of the UAE Women's Union, Dr. Noura Al-Suwaidi, the Minister of Social Development of Jordan, Her Excellency Ms. Ayman Al-Muflih, and the Minister of Women and Family Affairs of the Arab countries. For her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Osman Aden, has indicated in her speech, first of all, allow me to review the Republic of Djibouti's effort to combat violence against women and the progress made in implementing national strategy in this regard. Indeed, in my country, there is a law that clearly defines female genital mutilations in terms of preventing female genital mutilations for young girls. The Ministry has developed a strategy to end female genital mutilation, which can be renewed with every 5 years from 2006, with the final implementation in 2018 and 2022. In the file of the health, the Republic of Djibouti has since 2009 established a national reproductive health centers responsible for early detection of breast cancer and especially female genital mutilations in order to reduce the incidence of breast cancer and cervical cancer. The Minister of Women and Family Affairs and the Djiboutian National Women's Association, led by the country's First Lady Khadra Mahmoud Haid, are conducting awareness and workshop on the fight against violence against women. This recurring movement increase at the relevant times, such as the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, as in other Arab countries. And Sustainable Development, His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilem, received in his office Ms. Emma Nguyen Ano, the new UNDP resident representative in Djibouti. The meeting was attended by Mr. Dini Abdullah Umar, Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment, and Mr. Aden Hassan Almi, the Technical Advisor to the Minister of Environment, and the UNDP resident representative had fruitful exchanges on the environment and sustainable development. In particular, they discussed the progress of projects that the Ministry of Environment is implementing with the technical and financial support of the UNDP. The Minister of Environment welcomed the excellent cooperation between UNDP and his ministry and expressed his wish to strengthen this cooperation. The Secretary of State in charge of sports, His Excellency Hassan Mohammed Kamil, received in audience on Monday, November 29, 2021, Mr. Kaneda Masayuki, resident representative of the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA in Djibouti, newly appointed. After the usual pleasantry, the two personalities discussed bilateral relations between Japan and Djibouti in the field of sports, as well as ways and means to promote them. Thanking Masayuki for the visit, the Secretary of State in charge of sports gave and expressed reminders of the objectives and missions of the State Department for Sports before mentioning the various aspects requiring the agency's expertise and support. To this end, Mr. Kaneda Masayuki reiterated to the minister the availability of the Japanese agency to accompany his department in order to achieve its objectives. The meeting took place in the presence of Mr. Sawada Michihisa, the coordinator of the volunteer service, Mr. Daher Warsama, head of the JICA project, and Mr. Idris Adoita, head of the Department of Sports Communication. As part of its activity to support and strengthen health program, the IGAD Secretariat organized a regional assessment this morning at the Campus Key hotels in all member states to explore the current status of implementation of the health thematic areas in line with the provisions of the Nairobi Declarations for Refugee, IDPs, returnees, migrants, cross-border mobile populations, and host community. The assessment aims to identify gaps and bottlenecks, existing opportunities, and make recommendations for long-term improvement and integration. This regional meeting on malaria control was opened by Dr. Hamdan Mustafa, representative of Sudan, president of IGAD. He was followed by Ms. Fathia Abu Bakr Alwan, director of the Health Social Development of IGAD.
Who took time for the support and collaboration of the process for the Nairobi Declaration and also plan of action and also the efforts to organize this important regional meeting. It is known that fact that the IGAD region needs a strengthening framework for regional cooperation focusing on refugees, returnees, host community in their country of origin, as well as in the host countries. By achieving this comprehensive reintegration and returnees for the refugees, IGAD has gone a series of meetings and discussion, including a head of state and government since 2007. The outcome of this regional meeting was particularly the outcome of one of the main declarations, which is called the Nairobi Declaration.
The Djibouti Chamber of Commerce organized yesterday at its headquarters an open day for private, national, and foreign companies to take advantage of tenders issued by the French Army stationed in Djibouti. This open day was an opportunity for Djiboutian and foreign entrepreneurs to discuss directly with the project and purchase managers of the French Army stationed in Djibouti. It was also an opportunity to see, but also to respond to the request of and needs of the French Army stationed in Djibouti. This day saw the presence of the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Youssouf Moussa Dawale, and the general of the French forces stationed in Djibouti, General Stéphane Dupont, and many heads of national and foreign company operating in Djibouti. In a speech delivered on this occasion, the commander of the French forces stationed in Djibouti, General Stéphane Dupont, said he was delighted to be among them and affirmed his availability to Djiboutian business leaders. The travel agency Basha Travel handed over today a batch of sports jersey, caps, and medals to the National Agency for Disabled People. The reception of this sports batch was attended by the director of NPH, Duale Saeed Mahmoud, and the CEO of Basha Travel, Ms. Hibo Basha Hassan. This batch of material will be used for the good organizations of a tournament of the football team of NPH, which is going to play this afternoon a charity match within the framework of the national week of disabled people. In a speech delivered on this occasion, the CEO Basha Travels said she was proud to be able to contribute to the development of people with disability. The director of NPH, Duale Saeed Mahmoud, thanked the CEO of Basha Travel, Ms. Hibo Basha Hassan, for her generosity and for these noble gestures towards the disabled people. As part of the municipality policy of beautification of the city of Djibouti, the campaign of planting environmental and shade tree continues and today in Balbala an important endowment took place at this ceremony led by the president of the municipality of Balbala, Mr. Bashir Idris Bashir. So the participation of many personalities such as the vice president of the municipality, Mr. Hassan Sanalase, and the Vice President of the Djiboutian Civil Society, Mr. Yusuf Hassan Nuhu, as well as local elected officials and members of the Council of the Neighborhood of Balbala. Then the President of the municipality, followed by the Vice President of Civil Society, proceeded to plant a tree in the commune, thus setting an example for others. At the end of the ceremony, the President proceeded to distribute the plant to the members of the different neighborhood councils. Within the framework of the support to decentralization and local initiative program, ADIL, an inauguration ceremony of the two projects for the year 2020 was held today, Monday, 29 November, in the region of Arta, in particular in the chief town. The projects were carried out by the Regional Council with the funding from the European Union, managed by Expertise France. The project inaugurated are a mini multi-playgrounds and the rehabilitations of the Regional Council building. The inauguration ceremony was attended by the authorities of Artas region, including the prefect and the ambassador of France and the European Union, as well as the representative of the Ministry of Decentralization, Ms. Fardousa Ahmed Ali. The ceremony was attended by the elected officials, representative of decentralized services, and elderly senior officials of the region. The day started with the football match between three teams, Alta French FFDG and a Spanish Army team, which won the trophy by beating the FFDG team. Djibouti victory at the Arab Athletic Championship in the cadet category. The young Djiboutian Ayale Abdi Abdillahi won the gold medals in 1,500 meters during this championship, which took place in Tunisia. The second place went to the two Tunisian, and a young Moroccan completed the podium. For the international scene, Ballon d'Or, Lionel Messi wins the Gold Ballon for the 7th time. Lionel Messi won the Golden Ballon, the most prestigious individual award for a footballer. For the 7th time in Paris, he beat Poland's Robert Lewandowski, second, and the Italy's Jorginho. The award was given for winning the Copa America with the Argentina national team. The 34-year-old striker who left Barcelona in August became the first PSG player to win the awards. In any case, it was enough for Lionel Messi to relegate the competition, who has shared the Ballon d'Or with Cristiano Ronaldo since 2008, almost without interruptions. Only the Croatian Luka Modric broke their hegemony in 2018. Poland's Robert Lewandowski, who was the favorite for the 2020 editions that was eventually concealed, was probably dreaming of emulating Modric. His 64 goals in 2021 with Bayern Munich and Poland were all arguments, and they were rewarded during the ceremony with a special Gold Scorers of the Year award. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.